Hey you guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out Stan and Tiff and Devin Brown and everybody else who done sent me this story. This story had me real emotional because I've known about this story for years. It happened down in Georgia, and it's about the twins, Jasmiyah and Tasimyah. They were charged with murder at the age of 16. They killed their mother, and they lied to cover up the crime scene. They did all types of just crazy stuff. But now this story is back in the headlines because they're basically trying to be honest now with the world. They're trying to tell everybody what happened. And I also believe that they're trying to look for a lighter sentence because both of these twins have been sentenced to 30 years in prison.
Officers after their arrest. Tonight, you'll see those same twin sisters admit to brutally killing their mother. This week, 11 Alive cracked open the case file of Jasmiyah and Tasimyah Whitehead. And tonight, the most chilling details yet. Katie Beck is here with the twins' confession.
Well, Brenda, we pick up almost exactly 4 years after the crime, the twins about to go to trial. Instead, they accept a 30-year sentence and start talking about what actually happened the morning of the murder.
It wasn't like it was a fight on the street. It was more of a fight till somebody died.
A fight with their mother after waking up late for school.
She just started waving the pot around and things like that or whatever. And so I guess she trying to hit us with the pot. You know, she just threatening us and everything.
The girls say they got the pot away from her, but it was the start of an all-out brawl.
Your mom's yelling?
We all yelling.
Everybody's yelling.
We mad.
I had took the pot from her. This one she had grabbed and I kind of turned like he said, get back. But she didn't keep the knife in her hand.
My mom is winning that battle with the knife or whatever, so I picked up the pot and I hit her with the pot.
Jazz breaks this red vase over her mother's head. It was the first sign of blood, and her mother fought back.
She bit me in the chest. Like I said, I'm not that big, so when she bit me, she latched on to me, and I'm trying to get her off of me because it hurts. I'm trying to punch her, I guess, and I think Dad stabbed her. She stabbed her.
After more fighting, Jazz says at some point she begins to choke her mother with this ribboned medallion she won as a child. Her mother delivers a swift backhand blow, catching her by surprise.
So I was stunned. I think I picked up a knife and I stabbed her. They wasn't cuts like they were deep because I couldn't bring myself to do that.
After all the biting, punching, screaming, and stabbing, the twins drag their mother into the bathtub. Neither really explain why.
You had her by the hands?
Yeah, I think I was at the top.
And Jazz had her feet.
Yeah, she was heavy.
What did y'all do?
They put her in the tub.
But Nikki Whitehead was still alive. In fact, she was talking to the twins.
What's she saying?
She hated us. She hated us. And I don't know, I guess like the same thing. We're going to jail.
What are you saying to her?
I'm sorry. I told her I was sorry.
Minutes later, they would watch their mother die.
She went under a couple times and that was it.
When that was it, let me use your words, when that was it, what'd you and your sister do?
I guess we were shocked. I mean, we were really relieved. I guess what we did. We cried. I cried for a long time.
Then they would attempt to clean up, go to school, and begin their lies to police.
We just started planning how we was going to cover it up, I guess.
The girls admit that when they returned, they expected the police would be there, and their mother would not. The sight of what they had done was overwhelming.
I really wished it didn't happen like that. I wish I could have saw something else to do. I wish I did. Sorry. It was just confusion. It was like turmoil. It's just like it never stopped.
The girls wish they'd called police during the fight rather than hours after the murder, been truthful, and wish they still had a mother.
I'm sorry, I miss her. But it was not what Linda and all of them try to make it seem. I didn't hate her. I didn't hate her either. It just was built up. I don't know, I guess heat of the moment and just built up anger between all three of us.
Now, the prosecutor in this case says he intends for both of the girls to serve every day of their 30-year sentence. He still doesn't know if he has the entire truth of what happened and says after so many lies, it's hard to tell if the remorse shown at the end of this confession is actually sincere.
Yes, because they've seen a show from those girls from the very start, and it's absolutely disturbing. And to think it's been 4 years since the crime, so it's been all this time that they've been telling lies up until
holding on to those
this
details.
Year.
Yes. And we're getting into a lot of those details online right now, Brenda. We're having a live chat, and people are chiming in that actually knew the twins and actually really have a lot of interesting things to say. So be sure to weigh in and tell us what you think after seeing those confessions. And I'll be up live chatting until about 11:30 on 11alive.com.
Yeah, also on our website, we posted all of the parts of this story, all 3 parts of the story as well. Some additional video evidence not shown in those stories
Katie?
are going to be online.
Well, DeMarco, through open records requests, 11 Alive has obtained critical evidence that never made it into a courtroom. Crime scene photos, interrogation tapes, surveillance video, and finally the twins' tape confessions. These puzzle pieces show the twins as they spin a web of denials and what investigators used to unravel it.
Identical twins share everything. Birthdays, clothing, even DNA. But Jasmiyah and Tasimyah Whitehead also share a dark past. These twins admitted to murdering their mother, a confession that came after 4 months of lying to cover it up.
Twin girls had come home and found their mother deceased.
At first glance, these 2 sweet 16-year-old girls had just discovered a gruesome scene.
It was the bloodiest scene I think I've ever been to.
January 13th, 2010, one of the girls flags down a passing police car. Inside their home, Conyers police find their mother dead after a brutal attack, submerged in a bathtub.
As soon as you open the door, you could smell the blood, like the copper iron smell.
The girls, known as Taz and Jazz, are described as visibly distraught and taken into the care of Conyers police.
You come over here, sweetheart. Come sit over here.
Until now, these tapes have never been seen by the public.
Jazz, like, screaming or say something. I looked that way, and all I saw was, like, blood all over the floor.
We were treating them as, victims, witnesses that came home, found their mother, dead.
Remember, these girls admit it. This is all an act.
He's not gonna come back.
Several times, Jazz asked for her mother.
Mommy. Mama.
A mother that she, along with her sister, murdered.
You gotta be strong, Jay. You got to. Because I'm gonna make sure they find the person that did it.
The people who did it are in this room, lying to police.
There is a little red thingy that sit on like one of the tables. I didn't see it.
There's a vase, a big giant red vase. That had been used to strike their mother.
More lies, some laced with truth.
There was like blood in front of the door, and there was like a line of blood, like somebody dragged her in there. Because I thought, you know how the lines are on TV?
That's true. Nikki Whitehead's lifeless body was dragged to the bathtub.
And there were drag marks that went from the living room into the master bedroom into the master bathroom.
Listen as Jazz actually admits to touching her mother's dead body.
I went to her room, and I seen the blood all in there on the floor. And I went in there and I seen her and I touched her.
Later, police would learn she not only touched her, she cut her, bit her, and along with her sister, nearly severed her mother's spinal cord.
That night we started to have suspicions. There was just something didn't add up. Something didn't seem right.
You didn't see her at all this morning when you left to go to school?
Because she locked her door, because she got a lock that you have to have a key to.
Okay.
And she locked her door at night.
More answers brought more questions.
What time did y'all leave the house?
We missed the bus, so we had to walk.
You walked all the way to Rockdale?
It's not far.
But this surveillance tape shows the girls walk to a gas station and hitchhike to school with a stranger.
Is that the clothes you wore to school today?
And arrive there 2 hours late, as seen here on this school surveillance camera.
Made all your classes today?
Yes.
By now, police are getting suspicious.
Hey girls, we're going to have to get you guys clothes, and I'll tell you why. You were in the crime scene.
The girls have had a history of domestic troubles with their mother for years. It's evident by this handwritten letter recovered by police at the scene. It was sent from Jazz to her boyfriend. She says, "I just hate living here, being with her."
Tell her you hate her and stuff. When she was dead, and she really did die. I told her that plenty of times, and she never died.
Presumably to hide their injuries, both girls wear gloves indoors, but police quickly noticed and asked that they be taken off.
Let me see your hands and your arms.
got into a fight.
You get in a fight with him?
She points to her sister, but the fight was actually with her mother.
They both had what could have been bite marks or scratch marks on their hands. Taz had a bite mark on her left arm.
Detectives decide it's time to separate the girls.
All right. Taz, I want you to come out here and sit with them for a minute. I want to talk to your sister.
Why y'all gonna separate us?
Because we need to talk to y'all separate. I know it sounds mean, but it's really not.
Police will now compare stories, and unlike the twins, they're far from identical.
Now, tomorrow night, we're going to pick up with this story right where we left off.
So you guys just watched the news clip, and you know, when I first was getting sent this story, I was still pissed off because I was upset, you know, as a mother, that these girls would do this to their own mother. But after, you know, listening to their side and seeing more of the story, I feel like a lot of people failed these girls. You know, I feel like they said that a few days before all this went down, the mother and the daughters were fighting, and the judge basically sent them back to go live with their mother. Initially, the girls were living with their grandmother. So there's been documents of, you know, all types of, you know, situations, documented domestic disturbances at that home. I, for one, I don't believe that this was premeditated. I feel like this was a fight between two daughters and their mother that got totally out of control. I don't think anyone, not the girls and not the mother, saw this coming. I feel like there was a powder keg and it was just basically ticking until it finally exploded in the middle of that house, and it ended up with the mother being killed. A lot of things disturb me with this story. You know, first of all, these were two young girls, and for them to lie the way that they did bothers me. And even in their confessionals, because it's a 3-part series, they didn't really speak about the violence that their mom was supposedly, you know, inflicting on them. And it also bothered me the fact that they, like I said, lied. They tried to clean up the police scene. I think had everything went down the way that they said it went down, and they picked up the phone and they called the police and told them what happened, as opposed to, you know, waiting a few days and lying about everything, because these girls lied about everything from the time they got to school to an intruder. You know, somebody else could have went to jail for this murder, you know, so they lied about a lot of things, and things didn't add up. And then it wasn't until the police were like, you know what, your stories aren't adding up, you guys need to be honest with us now. It wasn't until they realized they had been caught and that nobody believed them that they decided to confess. You know, the whole situation is sad, but with that being said, I don't feel like they need to be in jail for the next 30 years. These girls were teenagers, they were young, kids make mistakes, and I'm not making excuses because, like I said, I'm a mother, and I don't know, it would hurt me if my kids did something that bad to me. You know what I'm saying? So as a mother, I definitely am not making excuses. I don't think it's okay. You know, people are saying that they should be freed. Hell no, they shouldn't be free. Fuck that. They still need to do some damn time. But I do think that 30 years is excessive, because you have folks out here who have done things as teenagers, shot people, killed people, and they were out in about 10 years. You know, I feel like they should be in prison, but I think that they should be in prison for about 10 years, and then they need to get counseling. I think that 30 years is a lot of time, especially being that, you know, you can clearly tell that they are remorseful for what they did, but it doesn't change the fact that they left, you know, a lot of hurt people in their wake, because the mother still had a lot of family members who loved and cared about her. The twins have family members who loved and cared about them, and you have a whole family that's just simply divided. You know, I was reading a lot of the comments online. The mother's brother was online. He was still upset, crying, you know, trying to find a way to forgive his nieces. The grandmother was online. There was a lot of folks online during this debate talking about this whole situation, you know, and people are really conflicted. You know, some of the family members feel like they should be freed. Others feel like they should do the whole 30 years. Others feel like they should only do half that time. You know, like I said, I feel like they should do time. I don't feel like they should be free, but I feel like they shouldn't be doing 30 years in prison. That's just my opinion. You have to value your parents. You know, regardless, parents are not perfect. They make mistakes. They put you through things. You put your parents through things. But at the end of the day, they're the ones who birthed you and gave you life. You know, and I just think that murdering a parent is like just the worst thing you can do, unless it was really technically self-defense. You know, there's a very thin line between life and death, and you guys know, with all the shit I've been through, I know There's a very thin line. You can make decisions in a split second and then you cannot be here anymore. And unfortunately for these girls, they learned the hard way how thin that line was between life and death, you know, when they took their mother's life. So this whole situation is just sad. I mean, I don't think that there's any winners. You know, even with these girls doing 30 years in prison, the family's not at ease. You know, the family's still online arguing and going back and forth. You know, the mother's gone. These girls are doing the next 30 years in prison. I don't think anybody wins. Nobody wins in this situation at all. The situation is just sad. So anyways, go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation. Do you feel like the 30-year penalty is too stiff? Do you feel like they should be given leniency? Or do you feel like they should do the whole time because they killed their mother? So let me know your thoughts. All right. Deuces.